We're talking to the future of the UGA quarterback position today. Excited to have a special guest on the pod. We're talking about what it's like to be recruited by Kirby Smart, what kind of an offense we might see from Mike Bobo, and we're not just going to speculate about it. We figured we might as well ask somebody who's going to be in the system with these gentlemen, and so all that and more today on the Locked On Bulldogs podcast.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for making us the first listen of your day. This is Locked On Bulldogs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am Clint. He is Daniel. And Daniel, we got that third window, love. Look at this.
That. You love to see it.
Like Daniel hinted, Ryan Puglisi, quarterback 2023. How you doing, brother? Welcome to the pod.
How's it going, guys? Thank you for having me.
Love having you here. Dog fans should know this name, should get this name. This kid's got talent all over the place in the arm. He's quarterback coming in, and we get to hear from him what it's like to be recruited from Kirby Smart, what it's going to be like in Mike Bobo's system, because it is Mike Bobo's system. And then lastly, kind of some interesting tidbits of his expectation for his career at UGA and what we're expecting. But a little bit of just kind of an introduction. Ryan, why don't you tell the people you're a four-star quarterback out of Connecticut, prep school up there. Give us a little background of who you are for those of us who don't know you quite yet since you're not on campus yet.
Yeah. So obviously my name is Ryan Puglisi. I'm from Paxton, Mass. I go to Avon Old Farms. It's a prep school. We call it the NEPSAC. And I've been going there. I've been there for a year and a half now. This is my first season there, actually. I went to Lawrence Academy prior, and I played. My freshman season was canceled because of COVID, so it was pretty much straight 7-on-7. And but we didn't play any actual games. And then my sophomore year, I played at Lawrence Academy. We had a full season. That was great. And then halfway through my sophomore year, sorry about that. Halfway through my sophomore year, I transferred to Avon Old Farms, and I've been there ever since.
That's great. Do you so you're obviously coming in 2024 class, which means you got a year left under your belt, year of prep school ball under your belt. Tell the people just a little bit about your game, just straight from your own mouth. Is there anybody you model your game after? What type of quarterback are you? What do you like? What do you not like? Those types of things.
Yeah. I really like to watch Josh Allen when he plays. I kind of like to model my game after him. I think I have a pretty strong arm, so I like to use that as my ability. And when I can use it, I can fit in tight windows when I need to, and I can air it out, which is my favorite thing to do, throwing the ball deep. But I think I play a lot like Josh Allen. I mean, you can call him a dual threat, but it's not like he's like taking off every play. But if he has to, he can make a play for himself. The kind of thing I can do that as well, just to extend a play and make a play if I have to. But I would definitely compare my game to the way Josh Allen plays.
Gosh, you love to hear that. That is fantastic. And talking about, we are on this podcast quite a bit, trying to tell folk that there's no such thing as a pocket passer or a dual threat quarterback anymore. It's called quarterbacking in college football, and you have to have athleticism as well as the ability to air it out and accuracy all the way throughout. And so that's fantastic to hear. Ryan, some of the stuff that we've seen, and we had John Garcia on this podcast talking about SEC type arm, that competition up there. In Connecticut at the prep schools. You were telling me you were listening through and the guys who are getting SEC offers, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys in your league that are getting SEC offers at that prep school, and the competition down in Georgia. When Kirby Smart talks about, and you had a connection to Scott Cochran, as a matter of fact, you were telling me before we hopped on here, you got family, friends that had connection to Scott, and that's actually where this relationship with UGA began, which is pretty wild to hear that. What is the process been like talking about competition and best of the best in the SEC to come down and play with Kirby and the rest of the staff? What has that been like?
Can you say that? Can you do that question again? Or you want to know more about like how my relationship started with them, or what?
Yeah. The relationship started because of Scott Cochran and your family. But tell us about recruiting with the best of the best down in the SEC, coming into that from a prep academy in Connecticut. What has excited you about coming to Georgia and being able to compete at that level that you're accustomed to, and the rest of the guys up at those prep academies? What's exciting to you about coming down in the SEC?
Definitely. I mean, it speaks for itself, like you just have to see like a game day atmosphere there and what it's like, just when I first went down there on October 16th for my first game day visit, that was when I committed. And there was nothing I've ever seen, like fans everywhere. It was loud. Just the atmosphere was different than something I've ever seen. And that's obviously definitely very exciting. But also one thing that I noticed was like everyone in the program is bought in, whether it's a coach who's no one knows his name or it's Coach Smart. Both of them are working equal hours, and both of them are working as hard as they can and putting all they can into it. So that was really what I noticed, that everyone, if you're in the program, you're bought in, and if you're not bought in, then you're not going to be a part of the program.
Yeah,
Okay.
Ryan, and that's interesting to hear you say that, because it kind of is a follow-up a question I was going to ask about. A lot of people sort of think that they know what it's like to be recruited by Kirby Smart or to be recruited by an SEC school or big-time college football. They assume that there's a lot of promises being made. They assume that there's a lot of, like that everybody's just trying to wine and dine you and make you feel good about yourself all the time. Maybe just from your perspective, what was the recruitment process like? Was it some of that? Was it a lot of that? What kind of like honest feedback do you feel like the coaching staff and Coach Smart were able to give you about your game? And what was it about them in particular that made you want to trust them with the next step of your career?
Yeah, I think a major thing with the whole staff at Georgia is they've always been very upfront with me. They've never told me any lies. They've told me everything that's going to happen in the future, and everything that they have said has happened so far. So my trust with them is amazing. So that's one of the big things, just being able to trust them, because I know I can, because they've already proved it so many times. Like obviously there's things going around right now, but I've already known that was happening because they've told me and I've trusted them. And so trust was a big thing with me for them, and knowing that like everyone can say that it's Coach Smart, so everyone can be a little timid. And like it's nerve-wracking the first time you want to talk to him, because it's Coach Smart. You just won the national championship. But he's a very, like, as soon as you talk to him, he's a very down-to-earth guy. He's just like talking to, like one of your best friends. Same with Coach Bobo. Same with Coach Monken when he was there. All of them. They're great guys and very down-to-earth, and they've been great to my family. They've been great to me. So as soon as I knew the first time I stepped on campus there, I wanted to go there. But I would have committed that day, honestly. But I didn't have my mom there at the time, and I needed my family there before I committed. So.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I feel the same way, Ryan. The second I stepped on campus, I also knew I wanted to go to Georgia. No one was offering me a football scholarship to go there, but I did know the second I stepped on campus that I wanted to go there as well. So we have that in common. So,
and really quick, the list ends there, Daniel.
Those are the things that we have in common.
That's
We're
correct.
both human beings who either will one day attend Georgia or have attended Georgia. That's
Correct.
it. End of
That's
it.
That ends it. A couple things, by the way, really quick. I'm using Kirby Smart, my man down here, saying Coach Smart. Look at him already, and this is fantastic. Daniel and I get to be absolute idiots throwing around Kirby like we're on a first name basis with him. I love Coach Smart, and yeah, that family relationship, the trust. This is again from somebody on the inside of the recruitment process. Y'all, calm down. I can't believe Kirby had to go up on ESPN and talk about culture issues. The culture is fine. The trust is there. Relationship's there. We're going to come back, talk more with Ryan Puglisi, the 4-star 2024 quarterback out of Connecticut. But first, I want to let you know about Built Bar. Built Bar, Daniel's the tastiest protein bar on planet Earth. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Okay,
I'm
good.
aware of that. I've said it before. I've said it many times. I'll say it again.
Times. Daniel, you and I are in a tussle. We're in a cold war of stealing Built Bars from each other. I
That's
am
right.
up 5-0, I think, at this
I'll be
point.
at your house. You won't even know when I'm there. You'll never see me, but the Built Bars will be gone.
That's right.
It'll be
Built Bars,
fun.
the tastiest protein bar on planet Earth. They are high in protein. They are high in fiber. They are low in sugar. They are dietary approved. They are meal replacement on the go, pre-workout, post-workout, during workout. They are a candy bar, but wait, this just in. It's a protein bar that tastes like a candy bar. That's what we're talking about. Tastiest thing on planet Earth, BuiltBar.com. And right now, you get 15% off your entire order at Built.com with promo code Locked On. That's 15% off, whether it's this little mallow thing going on, this crisp, seasonal flavors coming out. Fall's going to hit. They're going to have that apple crisp. They're going to have that blueberry crisp. They got fruit. They got chocolate. They got a whole thing. Built Bar, the tastiest protein bar on planet Earth.
Ryan, you mentioned Coach Bobo. You mentioned Coach Monken. Obviously, there's been a transition this offseason, and I can't imagine something more relevant to you. A 2024 recruit, got another year of prep ball, and then you'll be coming down to Athens. And, it's one thing to talk to Coach Smart, but, the offensive coordinator, that's your guy. Like, that's your coach. That's the guy whose system you're going to be playing in. You're going to be hoping to lead one day. And so just give us your thoughts on that transition. What were you thinking as all that went down? You mentioned communication from the staff, which I assume was, they were talking to you the whole way. But what are you thinking as you watched? Obviously had to be excited to play for Coach Monken. Yeah. And all that he was able to do in college football. But then as we transition to Coach Bobo, what are your thoughts on that and the system that you'll find yourself in?
Yeah, so obviously Coach Monken is an amazing coach based off what he's produced in the past few years, and he was great to my family. He was great to me. We had a really good relationship, and but I'm super excited for him. He deserved everything that he's earned, everything he's had right now, and I still talk to him to this day. He's always checking in. I'm always checking on him, making sure everything's okay and hoping that he's doing okay. And but he was great to me, and I'm super excited for his future. But I knew Coach Bobo obviously because they took him internally, but he's same exact thing with him. I love Coach Bobo. We talk all the time. Mostly we talk about fishing. I know he loves fishing, so he's always sending me pictures of him fishing and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. But I'm equally excited to play for Coach Bobo as I was for Coach Monken. I saw a clip of him of his days when he was OC at Georgia, and there was videos of him in the box. It actually got me pretty fired up because he was yelling in there and he was going crazy. So I'm super excited, and I'm fired up to play for Coach Bobo as well.
That film from the archives, Daniel, of Coach Bobo, you were in the stands during that time.
Oh, it's real. Coach Bobo's got that. He's got that heat in that box. He punches that glass. He's either going to break a knuckle or he's going to break that plexiglass on the front of the box when he gets fired up. And hopefully he'll have a lot to be fired up about over the next few years in Athens.
That's right.
Definitely.
Ryan, you talked about the relationship with Todd Monken as well as Coach Bobo. Tell us your thoughts. A lot of Dog fans, we are not part of them. As Dog fans, we believe Mike Bobo is the right OC to head this juggernaut that is Georgia and to continue the excellence that Todd Monken has already established. And we anticipate great things going forward. What gives you confidence in Coach Bobo? What have you spoke to him about? What has he shared about the type of offense and the confidence to continue this juggernaut that we have become on the offensive side of the ball?
Yeah. I think him coming within, aside football aside, he went to Georgia. He graduated from Georgia. He played at Georgia. So I think he brings something to a team that a lot of other offensive coordinators won't bring, which is like a love for Georgia because he went through it, what these guys are going to, and he went through everything at that school. So he's developed this kind of different feeling that other offensive coordinators would have at Georgia. He has more motive because that's his school too. And not only is he coaching there, but he played there as well, like I said before. But he kind of has that feeling that like those players have out there that they want to win and they want to play because they're playing for their school, and he's coaching for his school now too. So I think that brings another aspect to his game, even besides like his offensive mind. Like he's produced very good offensive numbers wherever he's been. So I think adding that aspect of how he feels for the university is just game changing.
I believe, Clint, if I could summarize
Please
what
do.
Ryan said there, it's built by Georgia. Coach Bobo is built by Georgia. That's who he is. That's what he is. And you're not going to go wrong with that. Ryan, let me ask you about this, and then we'll come back in the next segment. I want to talk about your goals for your career. I want to talk about who from this 2024 class you might be trying to bring with you down to Athens. That's an interesting thing. I think people would be keen to hear you talk about. I'd love to just give me just even real quick, what's the mindset of a kid coming in to Athens? Obviously, the quarterback room at Georgia, it's not like you're going to be the only guy in the room. It's a crowded room, and there's a lot of talented dudes. There's always going to be talented dudes every single year. You could have gone any number of places and sort of known that you were going to be the most talented guy in the room from day one, no matter what, no bones about it. But you choose to come to a place like Georgia where you know that there's going to be competition. What is it about that competition that motivates you, that excites you, that makes you want to take on that challenge versus going somewhere where playing time might be a little easier to come by?
Yeah. I'm sure most of you guys have heard in interviews and stuff like that of former players who have already graduated and been through their practices and stuff like that, but they always seem to be like that they feel prepared in whatever they're doing. Like even Nolan Smith, like he talks about being prepared, obviously on the field, but off the field as well. Like as you guys can see in his interviews, like he's very, very well matured. He's everything. My dad actually joked around and said Nolan Smith could be the next president of the United States. Like, and
we could do a lot worse. We could
Yeah.
do a lot worse.
That's true. He's just a first class guy, and I think aside of football, Coach Smart has done a very, very great job of building a culture where kids can succeed on and off the field. And but even going onto the field, to on-field stuff, even if I don't play my freshman year, or say someone doesn't play their freshman year or sophomore year, they're still playing against the number one defense in the nation every day, which matters. Because when they do get their chance, that only means that they've been preparing for 2 years under their belt, and they've been in a system where they can compete because they've been doing it every single day for hours. So when they do get their shot on the field, it's like they've been doing it all their life. So that's something that really caught my eye.
Yo, this is exactly what we've been saying since Kirby took over. The culture there is exactly that. You're just in a pressure cooker, Ryan, is what you're talking about. You're in a pressure cooker for a couple of years against what better competition than going up against the ones on the other side who are drafting 5 first-rounders per draft. It's just insane. Like you just can't mimic that anywhere else. Even if you were to scrimmage another SEC school, it's not like scrimmaging. It's not like pressing against Georgia. That is fantastic to hear. Daniel teased a little thing that we're going to come back to. We're going to talk about your hopes for your career at Georgia and who might you be bringing down. But first, we want to let you about FanDuel. FanDuel is the number one sports book in America. And right now, it's midway point through the NBA season, as well as, this little thing called March Madness that's happening, Daniel, that's coming so soon to all of us. Oh, it's a real thing. He knows it. He's not a ventriloquist. We're not doing that. He said, he knows. Oh, he knows.
I know.
There
the
he is.
Microphone's muted.
No, it's fine. FanDuel, America's number one sports book and the official sports book of Locked On Podcasts and Locked On Bulldogs. And right now, customers can get a no sweat first bet. New customers, when you put in the promo code FanDuel.com/locked on, it's first bet, no sweat first bet up to $1,000 as bonus bets back if your first bet does not win. Download the FanDuel Sportsback app. It's safe, secure, and it's super easy to use. They can be bet everywhere that you want to: parlays, single games, over-unders. You can even combine a whole bunch of stuff with point scores and threes drained. Daniel and I love FanDuel, and we're going to be on there quite a bit this coming week.
All the minutes,
all the
hours
will be done. So don't miss a chance to get the no sweat first bet up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you go to FanDuel.com/locked on. That's FanDuel.com/locked on to learn more. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports book partner of the NBA.
Ryan, we're not trying to keep you on here all night. We really appreciate your time. Thank you so
Yes,
much
sir.
for jumping on. Just quickly as we go, then give us a little preview, as much as you would want to share or whatever. What, when you think about your upcoming career at Georgia, what do you hope to achieve? What do you hope to accomplish? What do you set goals for yourself? Is that the way that you work? What are the things that you're hoping to get out of this time that you spend at Georgia?
Yeah. My coach he kind of has this saying that he just instilled in all of us every day. He always says it is just kind of trying to be the best person you can possibly be. Be the best player you're capable of being. And I kind of think I'm going to carry that on when I get to Georgia, just knowing that I have the resources around me to be able to do that every single day. I think that will be definitely one of the things in my career that I want to do. Obviously, my goal is to win 4 national championships when I'm there.
Yes, and amen. He said it. Let's just let it happen. Yeah, let's do that.
So, I mean, being the best player I can possibly be, 4 national championships.
Look, I don't need any more. I don't need any more from you. That's enough. It's a humble goal, but it's a goal, you know?
Like you said, that's enough. That's all I need.
I need is 4 national championships from you, Ryan. That's all you have to do. Anything more than that will be almost too much.
It's icing. Yeah. Look, it's an embarrassment of riches at that point. Ryan, now one of the things that you and I talked about is the excitement of actually early enrolling. You're looking to early enroll at Georgia when you are able to be done. So you'll be on campus. What you're saying is this calendar year, within this calendar year, you'll be on campus down in Athens, which is amazing. Very exciting to get that going against the stiff competition, and hopefully, fingers crossed, be there during some playoff practices and get that experience under your belt even before you're actually at classes. But along with that, there are a number of notable players who are getting SEC offers. What are some names that we should be looking for? Maybe some guys that you wouldn't mind coming down to Athens with you?
Yeah, definitely one of the wide receivers, Jeremiah Smith, Mike Matthews. And obviously we've already had a class where we have a bunch of wide receivers come in. But when it comes to O-line, Daniel Calhoun, I was with him. I was down on a visit with him at Georgia, and we built a really good relationship. We've been talking a lot. So those 3 guys, Sammy Brown, and then also the class we have right now, also kind of focusing on just trying to build our chemistry together so that when we get there, we already know each other, and it's kind of like we've been friends for a while. So I think getting to know them and those guys I just said will be really key to this class.
Ryan, thanks so much again. This is all fantastic stuff. I know Dog fans are going to love you. I know that the UGA community is going to love you. Can't wait to get you down south. Can't wait to get you down in Athens and get you on campus. Can't wait to see you. Maybe, as Clint said, in some college football playoff practice, drills, and see you next year at G-Day. That's like almost basically a year away from right now. Be out there on the field at G-Day next year, which is so much fun to think about. So, Ryan, tell the people where they can find you, follow you on any socials or anything like that if they wanted to see what you're up to.
Yeah, so my Twitter is Ryan Buglisi 5. My Instagram is Ryan Buglisi 4, and that's pretty much all I have.
It's great. No one needs more than that.
No, that's fine.
Most people need less than that.
You just need the one. Ryan, we are thrilled. We've talked about on this podcast how, again, like I said, I'm fine rolling with our QB room and quarterback recruitment as is, but we always love competition within UGA. You got that ability to throw that ball deep and far as well as accurate. So again, Dog Nation, be excited. Ryan Puglisi, 4-star out of Connecticut. And thanks for joining us, brother. And hopefully many more times on the show. This has been Locked On Bulldogs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And we will see you all later.
See ya.